Let's get relational. Hi everyone. Today we'll be looking at relational operators and how we can use them to check for conditions. Relational operators always evaluate to either a true or false condition. This is going to be a crucial bit of information to remember. The general idea of these relational operators is comparing two values to each other. These comparisons can vary from checking if something is bigger or smaller than another value, or checking if two values are equal. Let's take a closer look. Greater than. Starting off with one of the most common ones, greater than. This operator checks two values and returns true if the first value is strictly bigger than the second value. We use the right pointing arrow as a symbol to denote greater than. For example, if we wanted to check if 10 was greater than 20, we would write 10, right pointing arrow, 20. Now we know that 10 is not bigger than 20, so that statement would evaluate as false. Another example is 4 greater than 1. This would evaluate as true, as 4 is a bigger number than 1. So far so good, right? Here's something different now. What about if we had 5 greater than 5? Would this evaluate as true or false? We need to remember these relational operators are strict. Since 5 is not bigger than 5, it's the same value, this would evaluate as false. But what would we do if we didn't need things to be that strict, or had a situation where we wanted to include from 5 upwards or something similar? Let's enter the greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. This operator is very similar to the previous greater than operator, but with a crucial difference. It first evaluates if the first value is strictly greater than the second value, but it also checks if the two values are equal. Let's look at our last example again. We have 5 greater than 5, which would evaluate as false because 5 and 5 are equal. Is 5 greater than or equal to 5? This would evaluate as true because although 5 is not bigger than 5, they are equal. And we have 5.5 greater than 5 is also true as the point 5 is taken into account. You may end up using greater than or equal to more than greater than, but it's really important to know the difference between the two operators. Here are some more examples. 3 greater than or equal to 5 would evaluate as false as 3 is not bigger than 5. 90 greater than 90 would evaluate as true, and 19 greater than or equal to 91 would evaluate as false. Less than and less than or equal to. Next up are the two operators that are the opposite of the greater than operators. Less than and less than or equal to. They function in a very similar way to the greater than operators, but as you might have guessed, they check if a value is smaller than another value instead of greater. We will go through both operators here together as we have already explored the differences previously. Remember that relational operators only evaluate as either true or false. Here are some examples. 7 less than 9.8 is true because 7 is smaller. 9.8 less than 7 is false because 9.8 is bigger, or not smaller. 54 is less than 55, true. 6.6 is less than 6.7, it's true. 10.0 is less than 9.9, is false. Equal to. The next relational operator we'll look at is this equal to operator, which is denoted by two equal signs. It's important to note that this is different from the single equal sign, which is the value assignment operator. So to recap, we have single equal means to assign a value, and double equals will compares a value. Like the other relational operators, the equal to operator is strict and only returns true if the two values are exactly the same. Let's go through a couple of examples. 7.7 and 7.7, true. 9.9 and 9.8, false. 0 and 0, true. And negative 5.5 and 5.5 is false. Not equal to. Our last relational operator is the not equal to. You might already have a good idea of what this operator does. Once again, it's quite strict and only returns true if the two operators are strictly different from each other. The not equal to sign is denoted by the exclamation mark and the equal sign. Let's go through a couple of examples together before we wrap up. 9.9 and 9.8 is true because these values are not equal. 0 and 0 is false because these values are the same. Therefore, not equal is false. 10 and 20 is true because these values are not the same. 70 and 70 is false because these values are equal. That's from us on relational operators. See you later.